Hey guys, Mark here. In this video, I'm going to be ranking habits that made me rich, but they get increasingly more outrageous as they go on. So we'll start out with the habits that are the least outrageous, the most normal, and I'll progressively be introducing habits that made me rich that are increasingly outrageous to the point where you think that I have mental issues. First up on the list, we have reading business books. Now, this is a habit that I've been doing since I was 18 years old. I love learning about business, and I think that it really does just set your mindset up for making the most amount of money as possible. So this is books like Think and Grow Rich. This is books like Reality Transurfing, books that are specifically related to mindset and business so that you can ideally make more money in whatever skill set it is that you are working towards. My issue with reading these books is a lot of them are not necessarily super applicable. Like a lot of times I read books just for the mindset element, but to have something that's very applicable to business, especially e-commerce, things are changing so quickly that it's hard to actually find something super tactical and practical that you can apply immediately. So I like to specifically focus on books that are going to be timeless. No matter how long they've been around, they can still apply to me. Next up on the list, we have doing 4 hours of deep work every single day. This is by far one of my favorite habits. Even on this list, it's not super outrageous, but literally just spending the first 4 hours of the day working on increasing your income. So for me, this could be directly sales, increasing skills such as copywriting, such as writing new ads, such as writing VSLs, etc. Because this is something that the more that you learn and the better you get at this skill, the more money you're going to be able to make. And the cool thing about doing deep work is that I've noticed literally a direct correlation between the amount of time I spend in deep work and the overall fulfillment and happiness in my life. If I go a day without really putting in my deep work and focusing on increasing my income, I just don't feel like I really made the most out of the day. I can have a whole day go by where I'm busy, I'm working the whole day, but I don't really feel like I actually made progress. I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels. Whereas as long as I have deep work every single morning, and again, the number that you're looking for is 4 hours per day. If I have that, I just feel so much better about my day. And I know deep down that I'm making progress towards my most important goals. So this is going to be right after reading business books, doing a good amount of deep work every single day. Next up on the list, I have seeking out mentorship. Now, I know there's a lot of sketchy mentors, gurus. We're just flooded with these guys in your ad feed on YouTube all over the freaking world. So it's difficult to find a good mentor. However, that doesn't mean that mentorship is a bad thing. There's always somebody that is ahead of you. And it's best for you to just lower your ego and understand that you can learn a lot from somebody who's 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. The one advice that I have for finding a really good mentor is find somebody who you want to model your life around. So for me, my goal was never just to make a ton of money so that I could buy Lambos, so that I could get the biggest mansions and apartments and just flex and ball out in Miami. That's never really been my goal. My goal, if anything, is to have full freedom, meaning nobody tells me what to do. Nobody can tell me what to say or what to think. Everything is within my control. I want to have full sovereignty and freedom as an individual. That's what really motivates me. And so you should look for that in a mentor. A lot of the times, the people that are flexing all over their Instagram, their YouTube, etc., they're getting you to purchase from them based off status. And for me, as you can see, most of the times I just don't give a fuck. I really don't. I really just care about getting better at the things that I enjoy and designing my life the way I want to. And that's not around materialistic things. That's about getting really good at a skill and teaching other people how to do the same. So for that reason, we're gonna have seeking out mentorship right after deep work. Next up on the list, we have constantly being on Do Not Disturb basically every single hour of the day. And if you're wondering, Mark, are you really that guy? Yes, I am that guy. I am difficult to reach. I am notoriously good at ignoring people and not responding very quickly to text messages, to calls, etc., because I really value the time that I have. And I really value the time that I have that is directly proportional to me moving towards my goal. So for example, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I have everything on Do Not Disturb. I mean, truthfully, I have everything on Do Not Disturb all throughout the day. I don't even keep my phone in my room. I don't want any distractions. I don't want anybody reaching out to me because it's just me and my goals. And when you do that, I really believe that success is a game of subtraction, not addition. And what I mean by that is if you remove all the distractions out of your life, it becomes kind of easy and natural for you to get your deep work in to actually make progress towards your goals. Whereas if you have your phone next to you all the time, it's blowing up with notifications, it's just a constant distraction. And even mentally, just having it right there, I think distracts from your focus because it's an easy out. And I don't want any outs. I want it to just be me versus my work and nothing else. Now, of course, you have to pay the price with this, right? I have a family that I care about, I have friends that I care about, I have business partners that I care about, and you have to make sacrifices at some point. And a lot of times it's best for everybody around you if you just take time to focus on yourself and become unreachable. That's a good thing at times to be completely unreachable, okay? And so for that reason, being on Do Not Disturb basically every hour of the day. It's going to be right after seeking out mentorship. Next up on the list, I have working out every single day. A lot of people ask me about my workout routine, and I've been training for 6 years, and I'm really at the point where I care a lot less about how I look. I don't go to the gym necessarily every single day just to get bigger muscles. I really go to the gym because it's just therapy for me. I feel off if I don't have a day where I go to the gym. So I'm literally training every single day. It could be cardio, it could be weights, whatever it is. I want to be moving my body physically every single day. And I really believe that there's a lot of purity in doing something every single day. Anybody can go to the gym 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, but very, very few people lift every single day. And for me, like I said, my goal is not necessarily to just be super optimal. You know, I know people say, oh, you have to get your rest, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't. I just want to be the best at what I do. And I think there's a lot of purity and value in doing something every single day without fail. So for that reason, I'm going to put working out every single day right after being on Do Not Disturb 24/7. Next up on the list, we have increasing my expenses every single month. This is kind of a weird one because the typical rule in personal finance is that you want to keep your expenses low and your income high. And yes, I totally see the validity for that. However, I believe that there's a psychology around money that most people don't understand. I know, because I know myself very well, that I'm the type of person that does very well under pressure. If I have extremely low expenses, I'm not going to be as motivated to push my income to the next level. Whereas if I go out of my way, for example, and I move into an apartment that costs, double what I'm paying right now or triple what I'm paying right now, that internally, I know I'm going to be pushing harder. Because a lot of times, if you remove that safety net in your life, it is so much easier for you to stay at your edge. One of my principles as a man that I try to just engulf every single day, one of the principles as a man that I try to hold true to myself every single day is to always live at my edge. And if your income is way up here and your expenses are here, then there's all this room for you to be comfortable. And as we know, you only grow when you're outside of your comfort zone. So I like to artificially increase my expenses. Maybe I'm going to buy a new car. Maybe I'm going to, like I said, move into a new apartment. Maybe I'm going to send my family some money. Whatever it is, I want to remove the safety net because I know when I'm at my edge, I am performing my best. So for that reason, we're going to put increasing your expenses when it doesn't make sense right after going to the gym every single day. Next up on the list, we have reading books that don't really have anything to do with business. I really believe that life is a game of curiosity and you should follow where your curiosity takes you. Everybody in this world is born very, very unique. There's things that you have a specific interest in, a specific curiosity in that nobody else does. But a lot of times we're just convinced that we shouldn't be reading books like this because everything needs to be about personal growth, personal development, business, marketing, etc. I don't really believe that. I think that some of the books that you should read, they're not to develop your mind, they're to feed your soul. I call these books soul food books because they're feeding your soul. When I first read this book right here, Mastery by Robert Greene, I felt something ignite deep within me. And I wanted to follow that rabbit hole as deep as it goes. There's really, really, really amazing things happen when you feel your soul is on fire. You just feel active. You have so much motivation. You have so much discipline because it's feeding your soul, right? We have mind, body, and soul. Business books are for the mind. Some books need to be for the soul. What is a book? What is a topic that you just have this natural curiosity about? Whatever it is, go all in on it. Just read, right? It shouldn't feel like a chore. These should be books that you actually enjoy reading. And when you do that, you just get to know more about yourself. That's really what it's about. Deep understanding of yourself and self-mastery, not necessarily mastery over a specific business topic. And so for that reason, we're going to put reading our soul food books right after increasing our expenses. Next up on this list is consuming an ungodly amount of caffeine on a daily basis. Now, we have the God's elixir right here. We got a white monster. I am a caffeine fiend, all right? I'm not afraid of it. I'm not ashamed of it. I consume a lot of caffeine every single day, anywhere from on average, probably 400 to 600 milligrams every single day. Now, granted, I'm a big dude. I can tolerate more caffeine. However, there's so much research that's coming out about how caffeine can actually increase your baseline levels of dopamine. And so is that the reason that I have caffeine every day? Partially. I believe that it's a performance enhancing drug. I believe it enhances your performance in the gym. And so many people ostracize caffeine as this thing that's terrible for you. And don't get me wrong, I totally understand where you're coming from. And that's why I said this is a much more outrageous habit than anything else. I consume caffeine most days. Every once in a while, I'll take a little tolerance break, but then I'm typically getting right back to that 400 to 600 milligram per day range because I love the way it makes me feel. I understand it's a vice, but I'm okay with that because it's increasing my performance in the gym, performance in life, and it tastes good. So, I'm all about it. And for that reason, we're going to put consuming a lot of caffeine right after reading our soul food books. Next up on the list, we have working in a pitch black room. Now, as you've noticed by my channel, you can look at any of my main videos that I do. It typically looks like this. I'm sitting in a pitch black room, no distractions around me. I don't even let light distract me. It's just me and my laptop and nothing else. And a lot of people think that this is, it's not good for your eyes. You're going to get eye strain, blah, blah, blah. Again, I do not care. I love the way that my brain feels when I have no distractions around me, not even light in the room. And I've actually noticed an increase in the quality of the deep work that I go through if there's very, very minimal light in the room. Because one thing that I noticed is that evolutionarily, when we were in hunting and gathering tribes, we have peripheral vision, right? And peripheral vision, when we're hunting, is basically excluded to the person, the hunter, let's say, and the predator, the prey that we're particularly going after, in whatever case that is, right? And I think that if you can remove that to where it's just you, your eyes, and the screen right in front of you, it's totally bro science, but I believe that it helps me get into better states of deep work where I am completely unable to be distracted. Everything is just me and my laptop. I'm in complete isolation. Nobody talks to me. And you can get into really cool, creative, focused, deep states when you actually make this transition into working in pitch black. So for that reason, we're going to put working in pitch black rooms right next to drinking a ton of caffeine. Next up on the list of things that made me rich is learning a new skill outside of business. A lot of business people and entrepreneurs, they become very, very one-dimensional, meaning if you took away their business, they would basically have nothing. They would be very, very barren individuals. There's nothing really unique about them outside of the fact that they spend all the time working on their business. So for me, I love expressing my creativity in other ways, specifically through music. So I've been playing the piano since I was, I think, 7 years old. Over 15 years I've been playing the piano. And I just love the way that it makes my brain feel, because the process of learning in and of itself is a skill. And so if you're only portraying that skill through the business that you're working on or through the side hustle that you're doing, you're going to be very one-dimensional, right? I think you can actually unlock new creative ideas that other people can't if you go and challenge yourself to learning another skill. Just putting yourself in an environment where you're the beginner is super, super powerful. So ask yourself, what is a skill that I kind of want to learn that I literally know nothing about, that I feel like I can go all in? Once again, it's kind of the same process as the book mastery that I had earlier. It should be something that you just have a natural curiosity about, and then you just go deep into learning every single thing that it has to offer you. And so for that reason, we're going to put learning skills outside of business right after working in pitch black. Next up on the list of things that made me rich is wearing the exact same clothes every single day. I wear the exact same clothes every single day. I have my Run More Ads brand that is, by the way, it's going to be launching pretty soon. In the next few months, we're going to have our first clothing drop. But this is my brand. This is what I embody. I wear the same shirt. I wear the same pants. I have the same haircut. I have the same chain. I got the same hat. Everything is identical, because there's a little concept in psychology called decision fatigue. And when you're running a business, you're making decisions all day long. What I want to do is remove any potential decisions that are just completely unnecessary for me. They're taking away from the power that I'm going to have to make decisions in my business. So I want to make really good decisions in my business, obviously. So what I'm going to do is just wear the same thing every single day. I have custom made shirts, custom made pants, so that I wake up, I know exactly what I'm wearing every single day. I feel good, I feel confident, and it removes any unnecessary decision fatigue in my day-to-day life. And so for that reason, we're going to put wearing the same thing every single day right next to learning a new skill. Next up on the list, we have walking around shirtless. Now this is an interesting one, because obviously I don't do this out in public because I'm wearing my brand and everything. But if I'm at home, I'm typically walking around shirtless. And the psychology behind this is that every single day we're looking at ourselves in the mirror. And for me, I believe that if you have a strong body and you're taking care of your body, then you're going to have a really strong and healthy mind, okay? Even if you're not at that point where you're really confident with your physique, I still believe that you should do this, because every time you walk by a mirror or reflective surface, you're going to be reminded of where you really are, okay? And when you have this constant reminder, what happens is that you're now going to be more and more intrinsically motivated to improve at getting yourself a better physique, becoming stronger, whatever your goal really is. If you look in the mirror 20 times a day and you're not happy with what you see, guess what? Do you think you're going to be more motivated to go to the gym or less motivated to go to the gym? Obviously, you're going to be more motivated. And that's my psychology. That's the reason why I do it. It's just because I know that I can make improvements every single day if I'm constantly reminded of how I need to improve. And so for that reason, we're going to take walking around shirtless right after wearing the same thing every single day. Next up on the list, I have saying fuck sleep every once in a while. Right now in this age, we're full of the optimizers, the Hubermaners, the guys that are just trying to optimize the fuck out of their daily routine. Now, I understand that sleep is important, okay? Don't get me wrong. However, I do believe that when you're in a state that is very, very conducive to growth, for example, if you're working late at night, you got some music playing and you're just flowing, you're in that flow state, but you're coming up on your bedtime, I would much, much, much rather just go deeper into that deep work state. And shit, I'll stay up all night if I have to, because it just feels good. Again, you're feeding your soul, not necessarily your body. Obviously, you don't want to sacrifice sleep every single day, but if you're in one of those states that's very creative, then staying up until 3, 4, 5 in the morning just to make the most out of it, I think adds a lot of fulfillment to your life. Again, this isn't something you do every day. However, when you find that state and it's late at night or early in the morning, whatever it is, make the most of it. Go all in. And so for that reason, we're going to put staying up late every once in a while right next to whatever this guy is. So next up on this list, I have smoking cigars before a very high quality brainstorming session. Now, I'm very, very aware of the effects that nicotine has on the brain. I think there's a lot of good things, there's a lot of bad things. I don't personally take Zins, which is, those nicotine pouches that you just put in your mouth, because I know if I do, I'm going to become very, very addicted to it. But cigars are really inconvenient. You have to go outside to smoke them. You have to have a lighter. You kind of have this smell around you. However, if you know that you have a project coming up that you need to have creativity just flowing through your brain, typically I'll smoke a cigar before I do that, because I know that I'm going to get in one of those highly creative states where I can come up with ideas that truthfully I wouldn't normally come up with. And I understand, again, smoking has its issues. I'm not here to praise smoking cigars. It's just one of those things that I do because I notice the state that it puts me in is highly, highly creative. And so for that reason, we're going to put smoking cigars as the most outrageous habit that I do on a weekly basis in order to make the most out of my life, most out of my business, and make more money. And that's going to be about it for this list, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you want to apply for my mentorship program for e-commerce and you want to actually start up your own brand and start making money yourself, you can click the first link in the description and apply for Brand Builders Academy. This is my mentorship program that I own with Alex Fedotov, where we literally teach you step by step how to start an e-commerce business from scratch and make the most amount of money from it. Now, do we go over these things in that program? Of course not. This is just supposed to be kind of a funny video and to show that I do a lot of things that are really weird, right? I do a lot of things that truthfully deserve a lot of criticism. However, I believe that they're competitive advantages to me, all right? Everybody has their vices. These are some of mine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And other than that, y'all, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.